Hey guys, so I filmed the Lauren the Mortician video probably 2-3 weeks back, and it actually did surprisingly well. I didn't think that many people were interested in Lauren the Mortician, but here we are. It's always the weirdest drama that does really well for me, and then stuff that I'm like, that's what people are interested in, no one's interested in. So I clearly don't know my own job, and that's fine. But today we have an update on Lauren the Mortician, which is actually way more unhinged than that initial video. So I don't even know how to begin titling this video, because it's like, that was unhinged, and now we've upped it by like 10. Spun it, blew it up, and upped it by 10 again. So I actually don't know what we're gonna do here. Subscribe with the bell icon for engagement. Let me get into it. So if you guys don't know, Lauren the Mortician is a mortician on TikTok who typically just like stitches or duets people's TikToks when they're doing semi-dangerous things, and says like, as a mortician, I don't think you should do this because I've seen this accident play out and someone died or something happened. Then she started kind of veering off into more kid content, not for kids, as in like, mainly it was parents doing something dangerous with their kid, and she would jump in and say like, don't do that. And then she started kind of reviewing different products for kids for playing, like different pools and stuff. And people then started noticing a few discrepancies. So for example, it kind of came out that she was really only licensed for about 2 years, or like practicing for only about 2 years, because of maternity leave and when she got licensed and yada yada, which people did counter. Well, let me just go back to what I was saying. She was only really practicing for 2 years. So it seems like a lot of the stories that she saw, she couldn't have possibly seen that many in 2 years, mainly coming from a small town. You don't see these like extreme things happening all the time. Now, some people can say you have seen these things, but people are obviously saying like, it's only 2 years, you're in a small town. Like, what are the chances that you saw every single one of these situations and you have such vast knowledge on all of these situations? She also would try to like play up her experience as a mortician and what she does as a mortician, which people did say like, morticians don't do that. She then does counter that with her dad is a licensed mortician, so she could have also seen things while he was practicing, which fair enough. I know some people said that she's not licensed at all, and they've been looking into that. She did call her dad and did this whole TikTok debunking all the myths, so I'm gonna try and like find that. She did turn off like downloads and everything on her. I hate when someone gets called out on TikTok and the first thing they do is they turn off downloads. I'm like, okay, so now I'm having to sit here like an idiot and screen record your TikToks, or find some weird website that's probably gonna give me 5 viruses to download your TikToks. Thank you for making it so difficult to talk about you.
Okay, Dad, rumor number 1, I was never licensed. Confirm nor deny.
Well, first off, you were licensed. Otherwise, it would never cut time off.
I know. I only worked for a year.
That's a false statement.
So I got licensed, but did I ever actually practice mortuary science, being a funeral director under you?
100% yes.
Did I ever have a DUI while I was working for you?
Absolutely not.
And
my insurance would not have allowed you to work at the funeral home if you had a DUI.
okay, yeah, because I knew that there was something with the insurance. And just to confirm, I did work as a funeral director, so I did meeting with the families, embalming, cremations, everything, the whole 9 yards.
That is correct.
Okay.
But to be fair, putting these TikToks into this video might get me a cease and desist letter from her, because that's exactly what she's been doing to everyone else. And with how unhinged this story is, you know, you might not be safe from harassment on the internet or cease and desist or Lauren the Mortician, but you will be able to protect your internet data with today's sponsor, NordVPN. So on to Adderall, Angelika. Now today's video is actually very kindly sponsored by NordVPN, who are offering you guys an amazing deal for this holiday season. So right now you can get an exclusive deal on NordVPN with 4 additional months completely free if you click the link in the description or go on nordvpn.com/Angelika Oles. I feel like most people have been hacked on the internet at some point. This has happened to big accounts, smaller accounts, personal accounts. Everyone is getting hacked left, right, and center. A lot of the times you'll get one of those weird emails saying someone's tried to log into your account. And that might be because you went, you know, to your local cafe, used the Wi-Fi, signed into something, and all of a sudden your information is just floating out in the space for anyone to grab. This is where NordVPN comes in. NordVPN protects you from any malicious sites, any weird malware that you might download by accident, trackers, anything like that. So it's super important to use a NordVPN if you're just browsing through weird websites or if you're out using public Wi-Fi. With NordVPN, all of your data stays safe behind a wall of next generation encryption, which obviously keeps it all safe, tidy, and like I said, you are free to go to your local library or cafe to use the internet without fearing that anyone has access to your data. They also have support 24/7, so if you ever need any help, it's there, and they have a 30-day money back guarantee in case anything doesn't work for you guys, which I'm sure it will. I also use a VPN because it allows you to access internet from across the pond anywhere else. So I'll usually access the US Netflix catalog or Disney Plus or any other streaming service that might have better content than we do over here in the UK. NordVPN has thousands of servers worldwide, so it really gives you a variety of options to pick from. And you can even use it across multiple devices, so it can connect to your phone, your laptop, your PC, anything you need it on. So like I said, you can get an exclusive deal with 4 months completely free if you click the link in the description or go on nordvpn.com/Angelika Oles. And let's get back into the tea. She gets called out multiple times for these things. She then takes a sponsorship for a bathtub cover thing, even though she's criticized them in the past, but she says this one is better because she has a discount code for it. Now she does donate the money, but I don't know for how long she's going to be donating this money or what the amount is, like what the limit is. So I don't know how much she's made from this, but I think just having this relationship with this brand made her suddenly overlook everything she said about these kinds of products. Now, so another TikToker who is a certified car seat safety person has called her out for speaking out of her freaking ass about things that she doesn't know about. So like she will state which car seats are safe and which ones are not. He's like, as a licensed certified car seat safety guy, I'm the guy to say if this is safe or not. And he basically just breaks it all down. She then insinuates that because he's gay and has a lot of prams and children car seats in his house, that's like a weird thing. She posted this like Facebook statement. Let me just read it to you guys actually. It was on her Reddit. She's got a whole subreddit. She said, honest question, would you take baby product advice from a man who has no children, has 12 to 15 strollers inside their living room, also attempts to give baby wearing, baby carrier product recommendations, car seat recommendations, and high chair recommendations to actual mothers, as if being an actual mother is some kind of professional or license. You know, I've met many mothers who aren't great mothers, so I don't think just being a mum, just popping out a kid, having sex and popping out a kid doesn't make you an expert in children. And it most definitely doesn't make you an expert in safety of products. That's what I think though. Hypothetically and all, because I sure the wouldn't. Especially when they link these products conveniently in their bio for you to purchase so they can make a commission and gain financially from that, never having used the product with a child. Now this weird assumption, or this weird like, I'm slipping. This weird like, oh well, he's a man without a child. I mean, there are so many weird implications. She's liked very weird posts on her Facebook as well, insinuating her slight dislike towards the LGBT community. So I think there's definitely a level of like, oh, this is a gay man who is not a mum and I know better than him. And that's just like kind of the vibe that it was giving me. However, he is certified in safety of these things, right? He's car seat certified. I bet he's got great knowledge on what makes it all safe for children. And she omits that in the statement because then that would make it look like he's actually, like she's definitely painting this as just like this random man buys children products and reviews them, when in reality it's someone that's fully certified to tell you if these products are safe or not. So that was her little statement on Facebook, and it's convenient that she put it on Facebook because that's where all the unhinged people go. No offense if you're on Facebook, but there's some unhinged stuff happening on Facebook. People start calling her out, you know, I filmed my video on her, it's all fun and games, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, I haven't heard from her, so that makes me think I'm just not her target right now. Like, I don't know why I didn't get targeted, but oh well. So this is all happening now between Lauren the Mortician, Kitty, who is I'm not even going to discuss this right now, but she is a villain life coach. I'm not really sure what that means, and I'm not going to delve further into that. Her name is Kitty, and she's a villain life coach. I guess it's to teach you how to be a villain. She discusses Lauren the Mortician, mainly it's because people keep on getting them confused. Like, they keep on, I guess, confusing. I don't know why I tried to elaborate on that sentence. They keep on confusing them together. So she obviously posts a few TikToks about her and thingy, and like starts comparing clip by clip, and she ends up receiving a cease and desist and multiple copyright strikes.
A sizable content creator on this app has apparently hired an attorney to threaten me with all manner of legal actions, and I need to come on here and set the record straight because it's not only a problem online, but it has crossed over into my real life. Because seriously, this attorney sent the police to my front door in a wellness check. But I take that to be a very clear threat of doxing. But the thing is that I am a villain life coach, so that's certainly the first problem for them. That I'm going to be true to myself and my brand by giving them a very similar energy back in response to this ridiculous situation that they've created. Let me preface this by saying that the content and the things I am about to show and tell are all for the purposes of critique, commentary, parody, satire, and a recitation of the facts. And any names utilized in my little addressing of the situation are only names that have been part of their public profile that they promote. As of this video, of course. So, when this first started, to the attorney, I didn't think that it was actually someone Lauren hired. I thought that's such a bad PR move. And so when I got the sudden copyright infringement strikes on my other 2 platforms, specifically regarding a video that featured clips of Lauren and clips of me in a comparative format to explain and address why anybody would ever confuse us, which is the only reason I ever made a piece on Lauren, because people were like, how could anybody get you 2 confused? You look nothing alike. And I'm like, thank Baphomet on that one. But this is the context, and it was created by someone else who gave me permission to repost it. So when it got copyrighted, I was like, that's definitely not from the person who made it. And then I looked at the name of the attorney associated with the copyright strike, and I recognized it from just very earlier before, where someone had reached out to me asking if I had gotten anything similar to something they got after they sent an email to Lauren for just a singular private email, as far as they told me, and they got an absolutely unhinged response from someone claiming to be her attorney, and this was the same person.
She gets a letter from a lawyer. Now, this lawyer is actually on TikTok. She's a TikTok lawyer called Braun Law. She has 46,000 followers, and she's also turned off her download feature. So I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. So she basically posts a few TikToks. There's one where she puts up the definition of like fair use for parody content. So parody is fair use of a copyrighted work and commentary and stuff like that.
There are a few defenses someone can raise for infringing a copyright, and parody is one of them. If you raise this defense, however, you are admitting to copyright infringement but saying it's not unlawful. Just like if you raise self-defense in a murder case. You're saying, yes, I murdered the person, but it wasn't unlawful. So be careful when raising this defense. Always work with an attorney. For something to be a parody, it must be making fun of or criticizing or somehow commenting on the original work itself. It can't just mimic the work. A mimicking of the work could be straight up copyright infringement and not actually fall under fair use. Only a court can decide if a copyright use is fair use. There is quite a bit of case law in this area that helps attorneys counsel clients as to whether their use would be considered fair use or not, although it's not up to the attorney to decide. Or the artist.
You can tell that she's definitely I just don't know how, as a lawyer, you're saying someone putting up clips of someone else or tweets. They marked a tweet that Kitty put up of Lauren the Mortician, or like a written thing, like a comment or something. They put that as a reason to copyright strike. Her big thing is snark accounts. So this is her kind of trying to explain that parody and satire is fair use technically, but, and then she's trying to find all of these reasons for why these snark Reddit accounts, because Lauren has a snark Reddit account right now, why these are not fair use, because they don't do parody the way they're supposed to be doing parody. Like, it's very much just like picking at little tiny things to be like, this is not fair use and this is why we had every right to copyright strike someone. She also goes on a tangent about how she is not able to copyright strike someone's content. She can just provide the resources to TikTok for TikTok to then copyright strike someone.
There's a misconception being spread that a creator can send people to submit copyright infringements on their behalf. That is absolutely not true. Only the copyright owner themselves or someone who they have licensed the right to enforce the copyright to can submit a takedown on all of the platforms, not just TikTok. If a creator is saying that someone is out there sending people to mass report their videos for copyright, that's absolutely false.
I don't know, because this would never fly on YouTube. If Lauren the Mortician was a YouTuber and then she copyright striked someone else's content and her lawyer came out and did their own YouTube video saying, well, I didn't copyright strike someone's video, YouTube copyright strike them because I provided them with the content. It's like, no, that would literally not fly. You would get ran off the platform. Because I feel like YouTubers have gone through this for years now, and we've all come to certain levels of like, what is and isn't allowed, what isn't okay. And copyright striking someone is not okay. Now, when I say copyright striking someone, I'm not saying that you're physically, like, you're in the control of the platform to be able to just automatically copyright strike someone. However, these platforms are not going to check whether your copyright strike is false or not, because they don't have the right to do that. They're not lawyers. Google is not a law firm. Google is just a mediator between kind of one content creator and another. So when one content creator copyright restricts another content creator, YouTube can't say, oh no, that's not right, because they're not a law firm. So when one creator copyright restricts another creator, it just kind of goes through, and then you can appeal it to them, and then they can decide if they want to keep it up or not, and then you kind of have to go from there. And it might end up getting to the point of having to get lawyers involved on both sides, because YouTube is not allowed to say, well, we think this person is in the right. Sometimes if it's a blatant like lie, sometimes they will get involved. I feel like I've gotten a copyright claim before from someone, and YouTube did get back to me saying that it was a false copyright claim, but they typically tend to not get involved in drama because it will reflect badly on them, and they might get themselves involved in lawsuits. So you might get two lawyers involved. Now, a great example of that is H3 Ethan. He ended up getting into a copyright dispute, ended up in a lawsuit, and he actually ended up winning the lawsuit, which set a great precedent for future cases of fair use. He would actually react to content and add funny commentary to it, and that was considered fair use by a judge. So hope that helps. Now, snark Reddit accounts, when you download someone's TikTok and put on a snark Reddit account and make some cute remarks to it, I mean, I would have to just wait for a judge to say if they think that's fair use or not, but I think with how I've seen things play out on the internet, I do believe that is somewhat fair use. And no one ever gets copyright strike for it. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. I don't know. And then she says in the comments, but what about Reddit pages just acting as news sources? Is that fair use? And then she posted TikTok about if snark pages on Reddit are fair use.
TikTok creators, have you ever had your content taken off of TikTok and put up on Reddit, particularly on snark pages? That is copyright infringement. You can use the DMCA and report each post for copyright infringement, and Reddit should take it down. Before submitting a DMCA takedown, every post has to be put through the 4 factors for fair use. Only a judge can decide what is fair use and what isn't. And when the fair use defense is raised, the person that's raising it is admitting to the infringement but saying it's not unlawful. The factor that judges weigh more heavily than the others is the purpose of the post. If the purpose of the post is for a commercial purpose, it will most likely not be found as fair use. The U.S. Supreme Court decision in Google v. Oracle is a great guide for determining fair use or not. Any post made on Reddit on a public platform, not private, public, is for a commercial purpose because the poster receives karma points from Reddit and Reddit receives the engagement. Karma points are Reddit's special form of currency that allow users access to things with the more points that they have.
Then she posts this TikTok about essentially calling people like fake TMZ reporters, and she's definitely aiming this at people reporting on Lauren the Mortician, and Reddit snark pages is clearly not, the Reddit snark page is also talking about this lawyer now, so she's like really hating on the snark pages. So she's calling them like wish TMZ reporters and stuff like that. But I do still think it's fair use to talk about people's content and post it on Reddit, mainly because Reddit doesn't make you money. So you're not really stealing from someone's kind of source of revenue, and these TikToks don't get enough views on Reddit for it to be considered kind of taking away from that person's content. And it is usually posted in there to provide a clip to then be able to talk about, and then there is a discussion happening and a commentary. So I do believe it somewhat falls under fair use, and it's just been happening for so long that I don't believe any judge would say, oh yeah, that's not fair use, because then literally every single video on Reddit would have to be taken down, and Reddit just wouldn't exist as a platform because most people post something in there to then discuss it. So
this video is for all the wish versions of TMZ reporters and Entertainment Weekly reporters who do not have a degree in journalism and are not under the ethical rules for journalism explicitly. If you're taking a creator's content and posting it in your reports, quote unquote, that is still copyright infringement. Now, if you want to try to get around copyright laws, hire paparazzi to take pictures and then buy the pictures from them along with the copyright. Then it won't be copyright infringement, but you still might run into problems with rights of publicity and other laws that celebrities and creators have to using their name and likeness and image for a commercial purpose. There is no use of someone else's copyright protectable work where fair use automatically applies. There is none in the United States. When you use the fair use defense, you admit to the infringement.
And this is where her TikToks are getting more and more comments, because people are finding her and people have found that she is the lawyer who is sending the cease and desist on behalf of Lauren the Mortician. And she essentially goes over TikTok's terms of service, and they say that you are kind of allowing people to use your content when you post on TikTok, mainly if you have your stitches, duets, and saves available. It means that people are allowed to repurpose your content further, whether it be through a stitch, a duet, or downloading it and using it in clips in YouTube videos.
I received a good question in a comment, but the comment was deleted, so I can't respond directly to it, that had said basically, wait a minute, if TikTok's terms of service give every user the right to use other users' content and modify it and post it, how could there possibly be a copyright issue on TikTok? The answer is there in the terms of service. It's just a little further down than where most people stop reading. TikTok details what authorized uses are and what they are not in the Your Access to and Use of Our Services above. So we have to scroll back up to the top of the terms of service to look at that section. And that section specifically excludes certain types of uses. One of the uses being if you're using the content, someone else's content, for a commercial purpose. Courts have ruled that if you are trying to grow a platform, trying to gain followers, trying to gain views and clout and engagement, that is a commercial purpose. Also, using content to impersonate someone else or to harass someone else, defamation, this kind of thing, discrimination, those are not authorized uses of someone else's content. If you have a private page on TikTok, maybe that use would be authorized and not considered infringement.
And someone said, what about reaction vids, duets and stitches? They use another's content with a built-in feature, which means TikTok is kind of like saying yes to duetting and stitching people's content, because otherwise that wouldn't be there. She said no bright line rule exists. The answer is it depends. Why would the stitch and duet feature be there if you could just copyright strike someone for it? That is ridiculous to me that a lawyer is saying this. Someone said, how does copyright work for Lauren, who uses the Beetlejuice audio and also uses other creators' content and comment sections to push her own work? The only time I've ever seen Lauren's content on my For You page is when she stitches someone else's video. So someone is doing something with their children that might seem dangerous. Lauren suddenly jumps in, stitches it, so uses that person's content to create content. Or even she responds to people's comments with her TikTok. Wouldn't all of that be also not fair use? I'm so confused. Hold on. Someone said, hold on, Lauren has stitches and duets on. She is allowing the public to use her content. Someone said, you never actually passed the bar, did you? You're a pretend TikTok lawyer. So then she posts about defamation, because apparently people are defaming Lauren the Mortician, and this has 427 comments but only 67 likes.
Let's talk defamation and what constitutes opinion, what constitutes false statement of fact. I've seen a few non-attorney business owners say that defamation is really hard to prove in court. I don't know where you're getting this information from, because it really depends, and some defamation is super easy to prove in court. So let's get into it.
Someone said, can we get one on if it's cool for an attorney to harass the other party by requesting wellness checks? I'll get into that. She said, individuals often perceive inquiries into their well-being, such as wellness checks, as intrusive or harassing when they're in need of assistance. And this is because she sent a wellness check on Kitty, the person who was sent the cease and desist. So now onto Kitty's content. I'm actually going to leave Jeanette here. So Kitty had a wellness check done on her by the police, and she did tell them like, hey, I'm being harassed on the internet right now by this like unhinged person, so can you just put in the notes that if another wellness check is put through, to not do it, 'cause it's a waste of resources. And you know, they said they would put it on file that is what's happening. But yeah, Lauren the Mortician, along with her lawyer, Braun Law, decided to do a wellness check on Kitty, because I guess that's just like an easy way to harass someone into silence. It's just another way of scaring them. That is after she has already sent Kitty a cease and desist and has gone into like conversations through email with Kitty, even CC'd her mum into these emails, and CC'd a theatre in her like local area that she doesn't work at for some reason. Wow. This lawyer is apparently throwing around all sorts of different things: defamation, copyright, you know, anything that she can throw at the wall to see if it sticks, and none of it is sticking right now. And Kitty actually posted her own content about this. There are a few different TikToks, and she also says that a fan emailed the public email that Lauren has on her account to ask her, you know, I've been a fan for ages, I'm hearing a lot of things about you, are any of them true, you know, is this true, is that true? And she ended up receiving a letter that was very similar to the one Kitty received from Braun Law, Lauren the Mortician's lawyer.
And then I looked at the name of the attorney associated with the copyright strike, and I recognized it from just very earlier before, where someone had reached out to me asking if I had gotten anything similar to something they got after they sent an email to Lauren for just a singular private email, as far as they told me, and they got an absolutely unhinged response from someone claiming to be her attorney, and this was the same person.
So just emailing Lauren to say, hey, I'm a massive fan, I'm hearing lots of negative stuff, is any of it true? That is going to get you a cease and desist letter from her lawyer, who doesn't seem to have any knowledge of the law. So that's incredible. I wonder if I'm going to get dinged for this, but that's what's happening right now. And I'm just waiting for any more updates now because I'm hooked. I'm actually popping in because there were updates to this whole situation. Turns out the email that the fan received from the lawyer said that she could face jail time for this. Now, Jeanette actually, and I'm not going to kind of summarize this story too much because then I feel like you might as well just watch the original video. So Paige Christie just posted a video that I was watching today. I tried playing on in the background and suddenly I hear a name, Jeanette Braun Law. And I thought, wait a damn minute, what is going on? It's the same lawyer. So Paige Christie posted a video about Jen Gerard, who is her ex-friend, because her, Nick, Dustin, and Paige fell out because of her weird kind of dating situation. There was like a guy that she was involved with and it wasn't looking good. Paige posted this video. I'll link in the description so you guys can watch the whole thing. Just please watch it because I will not summarize everything in today's video because then I feel like I'm saying, I'll just be regurgitating the same stuff. So just please watch that video because your mind will be blown. But Jeanette clearly has a habit of, I don't know how to say this. I've never had to like try to mince my words because technically she is a lawyer and she's very cease desist happy. So she definitely goes out of her way to sound as harsh as possible and to make people feel as threatened as possible because she is a lawyer and she tries to, you know, use that to her advantage. But I actually feel like she isn't that good at what she does. I don't know. Like, of course, everything I say now will just sound really shady and you know, I think there are great lawyers and then there are just lawyers, and she's just a lawyer who uses the law to make people feel threatened. Jen, Nick, and Dustin fall out. Paige is friends with Nick and Dustin, right? So because they were all friends, Paige's family member was suffering with alopecia, then she also was then suffering with cancer, but that was kind of a separate situation. But due to the alopecia, she had some hair loss. And Jen Gerard has come out with a hair growth serum called Hair AF, I'm pretty sure. And apparently it's magic. Even, you know, Dustin has used it, Paige's family members have used it, and they've seen great results. However, clearly Jen is not that great of a person. Paige gives her relative this serum to use and it does wonders. So there are then before and after pictures that she sends to Jen just as a friend to friend, just saying, hey, like, this is what happened to my relative, you know, it's amazing that your product's doing this. And Jen was like, oh, can I just use these pictures for some things? And she didn't really specify what or when or how. There was no official contract, no passing over of the copyright to these pictures. It was just like a friend saying to a friend, hey, your products are amazing, this is what they're doing for my family member. And this friend then saying, hey, can I just use these pictures for some things? And, you know, you could think, oh, maybe she's gonna put them, I don't know, on her social media or on her personal social media, or just send it to a friend or someone who's asking questions about the product. Turns out that these pictures were heavily used for the marketing of this product. So that will be in PR packages being sent out, like physical printouts of it, leaflets, it's on the social media, it's on the website, like it's clearly being used to make money for this product. Paige's relative sadly passes away, and obviously with this, you don't want to keep on seeing your relative has passed away in some marketing for a hair serum. Like that feels a little bit, you know. So Paige, you know, falls out with Jen and says, hey, could you take down these pictures? Like, I don't really want them up anymore. Jen says that the relative's estate will have to reach out to her because she is not going to take down the pictures. Paige's mum, who is the estate owner, reaches out to Jen and basically says like, hey, take down these pictures. To which she gets emails on emails, paragraphs on paragraphs from Jeanette, who is Braun Law, who's representing Jen Gerard, saying that Paige Christie's mum is trying to extort Jen Gerard, that she's harassing her. Jen and the lawyer claimed that the relative had actually passed on the copyright of those pictures to Jen Gerard, but they actually went through this relative's phone and emails, and the only way they were going to be in communication was through email. And in the last 2 or 3 years, there's been nothing about passing over the copyright to these pictures. And the thing is, Paige then actually goes ahead and uses essentially Jeanette's words against her. You know, she goes through TikToks and says, you say here that if you took a picture, you own it. And you say here that if, you know, someone else uses it, that's a violation of blah, blah. So Jeanette seems to only take the bits of law that apply to her or her client. I mean, as most lawyers do, you know, like, of course she's going to do that, but it is just super interesting to see it play out in the court of public opinion. So if you guys needed any other reason to believe that Jeanette Braunlaw is an awful person, here it is. And yeah, so that's just a little update that I wanted to throw in for you guys, because I thought it was, like, my jaw dropped when I heard the name Jeanette and I went, no, you have to be kidding me. Anyway, so that's that. Subscribe, hit the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.